Welcome to Dialogue Editing for Motion Pictures. In the last lesson, we looked at the roles that sound editors play in dramatic feature films, with a special focus on dialogue editors. Now we'll discuss why dialogue editing is so important and how it contributes to the success of a film.
Once you get it organized, the next really important thing to do is to smooth the transitions between the shots. Now, almost everybody knows that a movie is not shot in order. You don't start at "in the beginning" and shoot the last shot, "the end." Films are shot in a weird sequence based on location, availability of actors, availability of weird equipment, all sorts of weird stuff that makes you shoot a film in a really strange way. Because of that, and because films are shot with single camera almost always, not with multiple cameras, when you cut from one shot to another shot, there's almost always a difference in the way it sounds. So when you piece them together, you hear changes, not only in the voice quality, but in the sound behind the words, which is called room tone. The problem with that is that if you hear too much of that, it gets in the way of the fantasy of the movie. People really want to believe that if there's two people talking to each other in a scene, that they were really there, they're really talking to each other. Hogwash. Maybe they weren't. Maybe they shot the two-shot when they were together, then this actor had to go to London to do a play, so they shot this actor's stuff, and 2 weeks later they shot this actor's side because she was available. Well, when you piece all this stuff together, it's bumpy. The problem with that is this bumpiness interferes with your brain's desire to make it a scene, make it real. You hear enough of that for a whole movie and you quit believing it. Or at least you go, there's something wrong with this movie. You know, maybe it's out of focus, maybe it's the acting, I don't know, but it doesn't work for me. So a very important part of our job is to smooth out these shots so that this actor and this actor talking to each other really feel like they're talking to each other and they're not shot 3 weeks apart. Now, whenever you shoot a film, it's full of noises. It's full of noises from the set. You might have, there's all these people in the room, all the crew. Somebody might step or something and there might be a little footstep sound. Or if there's a dolly moving the camera or a crane, that always makes noise. So you've got to deal with these things. Or there might be there's sounds that are made by the actors themselves. You can always tell when it's almost lunchtime because you hear somebody's belly rumbling. Or if you're dealing with an older person who has teeth work, dental work, you get all sorts of chomping and chlumping sounds, which they're neither very attractive, nor do they help the story. A lot of people also, before they talk, they always make some sort of a clicking sound. I don't know why, but certain people just do. Certain cultures actually do that. So you got to get rid of these things because they make you crazy. They get in the way of the dialogue. So we spend a lot of time getting rid of extraneous noises, even noises that might make perfect sense, like I'm walking and I'm talking, and on the last word of my sentence, I go blah, 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 blah. And as I say my last blah, I have a foot that's knocking the ground. And it was perfectly reasonable to have a footstep there, but it gets in the way. So we find ways to get rid of that footstep so that blah, 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 and the blah gets all the glory that it's meant to have. So getting rid of noises is two things. It makes the scene much quieter. It seems like you processed it, when in fact you didn't. You just got rid of noises. The other thing it does is it takes the filmmaking out of the film. When people watch a movie, they pay their good money because they want to go and be lost in a fantasy. A love story, a war movie, an action thing, a space thing, it doesn't matter. They want to get lost. And if you have little things reminding them that, it's a movie, like a dolly, or something that's just clearly from the set or from the traffic outside, it gets in the way of the fantasy, and it's not as fun. So getting rid of noises is a big deal. We do a great deal of that. These things we've talked about so far are sort of the technical parts of the editing job. But once you get all this out of the way, once it's smooth and it's organized and it's relatively clean, now you get to do you get to play your power trip as a dialogue editor, and you get to create perspective and depth and focus. You help to figure out, once you figure out what is this shot about, you can help people sort of look right there. Or if there is, if Polonius is hiding behind the curtain while Hamlet and Gertrude are having it out, you can create distance between the two of them so that when you're with Hamlet and Gertrude, you're very much in that fight. But when we go to Polonius's perspective, they're pushed back, and what matters is his frightened breathing, because of course, if he's read the book, he knows that he's about to get it. So you really can increase the drama just by the way you control the dialogue in a scene. So this is the cool stuff. This is the fun stuff that nobody can accuse of being boring or technical or nerdy. This is not nerdy. This is cool stuff.
In order to create cleaner, smoother, richer dialogue tracks, editors organize the tracks, fix transitions between regions, and remove noises that interfere with the drama. They also create perspective and depth that enhance the story. But dialogue editors have many other responsibilities, which we'll look at in the next video. Thank you for watching Dialogue Editing for Motion Pictures, a guide to the invisible art. This series is produced by the Sela Yaniv Sound School. Dialogue Editing for Motion Pictures, a guide to the invisible art, is available from Amazon and other online booksellers.